Yeah.
Alright,
So
go ahead.
we got Caesar Science here. He's gonna do a quick deck profile. We've been test playing tonight, and we've gone pretty 50-50. I play Volcanic Quick Draw, and what were you playing, Caesar?
Sidedecker.net. Making big moves online.
Cool. When let's see this deck. What's the purpose of this deck in the first place?
Basically, it's more of a field control. You know, you're able to reuse your cards, and basically it's reuse, recycle. You have big monsters, and you're able to call and lock down.
All right. Let's see what this does.
First off, the monsters are three breaker. Breaker's basically to force out defense. You want your monsters to be able to stay out. You want to save your Mist Valley Falcons that you're gonna later see.
Yeah.
We play after that one Grandma. Grandma is really to take over. This deck really takes over a lot of people that overextend their hands. So if they go Synchro, Side Blocker, and what you see is Mole will be able to pop back a lot, and it's able to be reused a lot. We play triple Side Blocker. Side Blocker honestly is probably the main part of the deck. It's just like Grandma, you're able to handle basically any deck that really overextends, and you're able to control a board a lot, especially you open a lot of back row and one Side Blocker, you're able to control a lot of the game. And especially, it utilizes a person that knows the game. If you know the game, then you know what's going to be in their hand.
Alright, and this card's like a prohibition on legs for a full turn, basically.
We play two Psychic Commander. Basically, two Psychic Commanders basically to tune out when necessary. It can pay 500, so it gets under bottomless, and it's still a 1900 beater. And then he works very well as Side Blocker because he's able to pay 500 to make Psychic Side Blocker bigger, or to be able to battle bigger things, basically. We play three Mist Valley Falcons.
What does this guy do?
Mist Valley Falcon, for him to attack, he's 2000 attack, 1200 defense, and for him to attack, he has to bring back a card back to his hand. So with Dispel and Traps, you're going to see later on basically what he does, because we play like Fiendish Chain and Swords, and it's basically just be able to reuse with a big beater.
We'll get into combos in a bit.
We play two Snowman Eater. This is just basically to destroy monsters. It's a big defense, and it's one of the cards that Mist Valley Falcon reuses that you could be able to destroy monsters. So it's kind of like a Saki to an extent, Last monster, I believe, is Gale. There's no more monsters. Gale. Basically, just another tuner. He allows you to go into non-generic monsters, non-generic synchros. But he's more about a beater, and he can half, and it allows you to get out of situations. We main one Thunder King. Thunder King is just, stop searching out, stop duality, stop all these things, and still pop synchros. And then this is a proxy right now for Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar, we all know what Morphing Jar is. I don't think we gotta explain really. Just reuse the hand, pop out the hand.
The deck sets a lot of back rows, so it refuels everything.
So we're going to Traps. Play one Oppression. Oppression really, there's not much synchroing going on in this deck, so I mean it's really used really well. We play two Deep Prison. Deep Prison, get over Stardust, get over Shooting Star, a lot of people are doing, and then allows you to keep your monsters on board, especially your Side Blocker. If you're able to put more than one Side Blocker on, you should be handling work. And then we got one Mirror Force, double Solemn Warning, and then we play what I think is the heart of the deck really is triple Fiendish Chain.
Now what does this card do?
Fiendish Chain is basically select a face-up monster on the field, and that card cannot attack, and it cannot activate effect. So basically the combo is that Mist Valley, negate. Next turn Mist Valley should be able to pound over anything 1-for-1, and you bring back your Fiendish Chain, and you're just reusing that same combo over and over again. And it just really locks down the field.
It's the same concept with Breaker and Swords and Snowman Eater. Like, Breaker's a constant MST, and Snowman Eater, you just set the monster back down after you flip it. And you can use Side Blocker multiple times in the same turn, too. Like, if you have a Side Blocker in play and Mist Valley Falcon, you can call for Side Blocker, attack, bounce, and if you did normal summon that turn, you can summon the Side Blocker again and say another card.
So, going to spells, we got a Swords Revealing Light, same combo we were talking about earlier with Mist Valley. Got one My Body as a shield to protect our monsters. We don't want Mist Valley to die as much, And we play one Darko, play three Duality, we play one Monster, 2 MST, 3 Book, and what I think, this is my own real tech, is the Double D Fisher. The Double D Fisher, you know, if you need things in your grave, which most likely not, this doesn't really utilize the grave, and it goes really well in Morphing Jar. Is basically, I mean, you can pop it back. Most of the time it controls most decks. It really does well against Grave Keepers, Quick Draw, Black Wings. Like, it's just overall tech, you know. I think it really just helps control the board, and when you can control the board and have cards in hand, we're using with Mist Valley, and it should do pretty well. So it all really kind of coincides with locking down the field.
Alright, cool. How do you think this deck fares off with other decks on the format?
Like I said, regularly, I think everything really overextends, so it could really lock them down. The biggest bad matchups are probably Black Wings, but the only thing with next month with 6 Sams, it's going to be probably difficult, but then again, I think 6 Sams is going to be pretty difficult in general with everyone, because they could just go pretty fast, you know. So, I mean, overall, I think this deck does well against really every deck. You could call Dark Soul side blocker, you know, a side blocker call, you know, value, call anything, you know, nothing's really being used, and then you're using your big monsters.
Alright, tight. So that's Cesar Signs, and that was side blocker control.